Welcome, class. Today we shall be continuing from where we stopped yesterday. And before we begin, this is just a little bit about myself, so you can read it and get to know your teacher for this session. So you can be pausing and then be reading the content, and then when you get done, then you can then move on to our today's session. Now today we shall be setting up our environment, and for that matter we are going to do everything from start to the end, no escaping. And for that matter, you should stay and then remain calm and follow every step, so that at the end of the day you can do it yourself. Even though I've already have the setup in my main host, so I'll be using my virtual machine to set it up there. I have a lot of operating systems in my virtual machine, and for that matter I'll just launch my virtual machine and then we get into business. So let's wait for it to start so that we can start our machine there. So as you can see, I have a lot of machines in my virtual machine. I have at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 machines. So I'll power on this Windows 10 so that we can do all the installation and all the necessary things that we need to get into our PCs so that we can follow up with the course. So if you are also using a virtual machine, you can do the same by launching the virtual machine and then just click on it and then click on the button here that says start, and then your machine will start. So let's wait. Let me minimize this one and let's wait for our machine to boot up so that we can then dip in to today's session. So it is booting up. Okay, so our machine is up now. So you can see that our machine is starting. You can see Windows 10 icon. That tells us that we have started our Windows 10 machine. And let's wait patiently so that it will then boot up and we get the going. I'm not going to escape any step. We are going to start everything from scratch till the end. So just follow the steps, and then at the end of the day you will be in a better position to set up your environment where we shall be playing for this session. So let's wait. You know, my machine specs are not all that enough, so that's why it is taking a little bit time to boot up. You know, a machine in another machine, that's just the meaning of virtual machine. It means that you have a machine and then you have an application that can host different machines in your main machine. So that is what this virtual box meant for. So, and we have a lot of softwares, application that you can use to host other machines. VMware is one of it, but I'm always using virtual box because it's cool to me. So you can use your favorite. But then if you are using your main machine, there's no need for you to do what I'm doing, because I'm just trying to start a machine so that we can have a fresh machine whereby we can all start to install the right tools that will enable us to take up the course. So let's just wait a little bit so that it will do its business. Sorry for that layers, because I'm recording, so it is taking a lot of my speed. So I mean that my RAM is now struggling because I'm recording, and then I'm going to use another machine inside my main machine. So as we can see, finally we have the machine boot up. Let me make it a full screen so that we can follow up. Oh my friend, turn to full screen. Let's see. My RAM, it is struggling. You can even see that my RAM is struggling. Oh, forgive me. It is not my fault. It's all boiled down to the machine specs. Though my RAM is 12 gig rather, and then at least I'm using OPC to conduct this exercise. So just bear with me, and it's because of the recording, so that's why we're having this slow nature. So finally, as you can see, the machine has started up. So let's just close these stuffs. My machine is struggling to cope up, but it will work. Just feel comfortable, and then if I'm not recording, it is working perfectly. But because I'm recording, that's why we are having this slow nature of it. So now, pertaining to the programming languages that we'll be learning. Yesterday I showed you over 7,000 programming languages, or 700 rather, pardon me for that. And I told you that you can learn all the programming languages. I have a colleague with me, so sorry if you hear any voice. And with this 700 plus programming languages, I said yesterday that you only need one, and that one self, you need to specialize in one area so that you can be good at it and it will be productive for you. And for that matter, considering all the programming languages, we shall be taking you through Python programming. I know most of you are familiar with it, but if you are not familiar, don't worry. At the end of the day, you are going to work with all those who are already in the industry and they are using Python. So just get your PC set. So let's launch our browser, and then we can then download some IDEs, that is the environment, so that it can enable us to start. So just bear with me, the machine is struggling because I'm recording and at the same time we want to work. So don't worry, we are going to get through it. So now that our browser has been launched, let's go to Google and then search for Python. Just search for Python and then press enter and wait for it. So let me minimize my screen so that you can see what is happening. Now if you search for Python, you can see that the first link is telling us that welcome to Python, and you can see beneath it they say you can download Python here. This is the documentation and other stuff. So now let's just click on the main link so that we can download it. So one of the things you're supposed to learn is how to install softwares. So even though we are not learning how to install software today, but then this is how we install what software. Any software at all you want to install into your computer, you first need to search for that software, and then when you get it, it means that you know the name of the software and you can search on it in the internet. And once you get it, then you just download, and you can see that we have the download panel here, and it's a cross-platform in the sense that it supports almost all the operating systems, whether Windows, Mac or Linux. So, and we are using Windows, and for that matter we are going to download Python 3.8.2. that is the latest version. So you click on it. So before you can install any software, first you have to have that software, and one way to have it is to go in the net. You can see it is downloaded down here. I hope you can see it. So you go to the net, search for that software, and then you just download it. And then when you download, then you can then start to install. So it means that we are learning how to download software and then install such software. So very soon our download will finish, and you can see it has finished. So you can just click here to launch it, that is to start it, so that the installation will flow. So let's double click on it, and then let's minimize this browser so that we can see what is happening on our screen. Let's wait, it is loading, you can see. So just be patient, and whatever we are doing, you are supposed to follow the same procedures so that you can have the right tool in your PC. So you can see that it is saying that install Python 3.8.2 and into bracket 32 bits. So now check here, they say install launcher for all users, that is recommended. So that box has been checked, and then the second box haven't checked. So I advise that you check this box so that you have it in your main path. So when you check the second box, just click on install, and this is the process in which we install any software or any application into our computer. So it is asking us for permission from our machine. So, and we just say yes. So, and then the software is now installed. So let's wait for it to finish. So it is installing. So that means that before you can install something, either you have the software or the application already, or you are now going to download that application or that software and then install. So I mean that if you don't have it, you will now download it. You will download it and then you then go ahead to install it. So that is the process. And we have a lot of sites that you can go and then search for software, especially for free. Some software are not free, but you can get it in some aspect for free. And maybe as time goes on, or when it is time for us to learn something about the concept of software installation, maybe I'll take you people to such sites, so that anytime you need any software or any application that is not free, you can search there, and then if you are lucky, you are going to find it there. You know, we are students, and for that matter, we can use the pay versions. So always we look for the free versions so that we can use it to learn. So you don't need to pay for any software for now. All the software you will need to learn, you can get it for free. So there's no need to spend your little monies in purchasing the software. It is installing, so let's wait for it to finish. So this is one of the IDEs for Python that you can use when learning to program in Python. So we have a lot of editors, a lot of environments that you can use to program. But then, because we are dealing with Python, it's good we use their own setup so that we'll feel safe. And more importantly too, we shall be adding another application, and that one too, let me just launch my browser and then we can search for it. So let's go to Google again. Anything you want to search for, just go to your browser, launch your search engine, and then type in the name. So PyCharm, our next. So you can see that the first, they said PyCharm, so we can just click on PyCharm. It is also a text editor that you can use to learn how to program in Python. And you can see that the first link is saying that PyCharm, the Python IDE for professional developers by. So you can see that it is also an IDE, and this is the one we shall be using. So let's click on that one too. But then our other one is still installing. I hope you can see. So let's see. So you can see that it is still installing. So let's continue with our PyCharm here so that we can download that one too and install it. So at the end of this session, you should be confident enough to tell someone that you can install a software or an application into your computer. So even if you don't have it, you just need an internet connection so that you can search on it on the net and then get it there and download. And as soon as you finish downloading, then you just be clicking. You launch it and then you'll be nexting to install. So you see, this is our PyCharm site. So they say PyCharm. the Python IDE for professional developers. So download. So you can either click here to download. We are not going to register, so don't mind this stuff. Or you can click the download link here or the download here. So let's just click. Anywhere you click, it will take you to the downloading page. So let's wait for it to start. So you can see we are now at the download page. So PyCharm and then download. So it means that we are now in the download section. Sorry for my voice. This is just an introduction session, and so now you can see that it has returned. And PyCharm 2 is a cross-platform in the sense that it supports both Windows, Mac, and then Linux. And we have the professional one, and then we have the community one. As you can see, we have the professional one, which is you can try the free version of the professional one, and then you have the community version. And say with the professional one, it has a lot of functionalities, but because we don't have money to buy, we are going for the community one. You can use the community one for anything at all you want to use it for. So just click on the community one, the download beneath the community one. So let's click on it. It is starting to download. So you can see from the URL here, it is saying that thank you for downloading PyCharm. So it means that it is going to download into our PC, so that we can then install that one too. But then our Python is still installing, and it doesn't take time to install the tool. But then because I'm recording, so a lot of my machine resources has been used up, so that's why we have this slow nature of it. So with your PCs, you will not encounter that. So you can see it is now downloading. So let's wait for it to finish downloading. So let's minimize this one, and then let's focus on our first setup, so that Python, so that I can finish installing. Maybe I have to add a lot of resources to this machine so that it will be a little bit faster. But don't worry, we are going to get there. And one thing I have to let you people know is when it comes to information technology, what we see in the movies is not the same. So things doesn't happen so quick as you expect. It's a process. So don't compare what you have been seeing in the movie. Maybe when they click one, then it jump to another thing, and then you see things working like magic. Information technology, or ICT in particular, we have nothing of that sort. Everything need to be followed step by step, so you get things done. So, and the more resources you have in your machine, the more speed your machine will be. So that's just for information's sake. So you can see our download is here. It is downloading. It is almost done, and then the installation for the first setup to still installing, and let's be patient and everything will work out. You know, the reason why I'm using my virtual machine is I've already have the Python and then the PyCharm installed in my main host. So, but then I want to demonstrate how you can get the setup and how you can then install it. So that's why I'm using the virtual machine. So you can see it has finished downloading. So let's leave the browser and then open it from our main PC. So we see this PC. So we can then see what is happening there. So let's wait. So let me just grab this. I want to make it so by default when you download something it goes into your download folder. So let's just click on our downloads folder and then we can see all the setups we have been downloading so far. You see I've downloaded Chrome, which is our browser. Then this is the first one we downloaded, which is Python 3.8.2, and it is still installing, which is this one. And then this is the PyCharm, which is the second one we have just downloaded. So let's wait so that this one will finish installing, then we can then install the PyCharm 2. You only need one editor to follow this program, but then sometimes it's good to have more than one editor because you want to have so many flavors, and we'll be working with PyCharm instead of the main Python IDE. We shall be using PyCharm because it has a lot of functionality, though you can still use the same Python, the main Python setup for anything, but then we shall be using PyCharm, the community version. So let's wait for this one to finish and then we can then continue. I'm not going to forward things as you people see in other lectures because I want you to feel everything. This is how things works in the real world. So we are not going to fast forward anything. We are going to feel the pain so that when you are learning, you understand that there's no shortcut in life. There's no shortcut in life. You either do the right thing or you do the right thing. So let's wait for this to finish. And when you are installing it, in your case it might be faster because you will be installing it in your main machine. So you just open your browser, then go to Python or PyCharm site, and then you either download the two. And after you finish downloading, you can go to this PC if you are using Windows 10. If you are using Windows 7, then if you click on the start button, you will see something they say computer. So you just click on that computer and then it will launch something of this sort for you. So you can see when it launches, then you can browse to your downloads folder, and then you can see all whatever you download there, so that you can start installing it. So let's wait for this gentleman to finish. It is taking a lot of time, I know. It shouldn't even take us even 2 minutes to install, but then the resources I have in my machine here is very limited, and that's why it is taking us this time. It takes less than 2 minutes to get installed, but we don't have much resources. That's why we are having this slow installation. So I'm just praying that it should get done very soon. So let's just wait patiently, and then when it finishes installation, then we can then continue. So with regards to the PyCharm tool, you can start installing it. So let's start with that one too. So let's just double click. I know it will slow down a lot of stuff, but then let's just try to install that one too. So to install something, just double click on that application, and then you wait for the setup wizard. Let's wait. Because I'm recording, so that's why a lot of my resources have been used up. So I can even check how my machine is dealing with the resources in it. Telling you, let's be patient so that we can get things done. Like I said earlier on, I'm not going to fast forward anything. I want us to go through the process so that you people will feel how things works in real life, especially in ICT. And if you are having low specs of resources in your machine, this is the trauma you will be going through. I just wanted to show you how our resources is being used, but then that one too, we are getting troubles. Let's be patient. It's not easy, but we are going to achieve our intended objective. So this is PyCharm setup wizard. So it is asking for our permission. So as a Windows user, you are the administrator, so it is asking for your permission before it can be installed. So give it the permission by clicking on what? 1. So we have clicked on 1, and let's wait. Let's see. So we can minimize this window. Okay. So you can see it is starting. It is verifying the installer, 10% so far. So let's wait. 46% for PyCharm, whilst our Python installation tool is still in progress, so let's be patient. It doesn't take much time to install them, but like I said earlier on, because I'm recording and I'm using my virtual machine, because I want to demonstrate how you can get this set up yourself, and then you can install them yourself, so that you will know how these setups, how we get them and how we install them. So let's just say yes for the patcher. But then our Python, the first wizard, has completed, and you can see that it says setup was successful. So I mean that our first setup has been successfully installed. So we can close this one, and now our patcham tool is on the process. So let's just click next so that we can install. Then the location, so you can leave it by default and click on what next. So then these are the options there. So let's add it to our main path, you understand, so that it can be added into your main path. That's very important. And click what next. Then let's just click next. You see now it is now installing. So let's wait for that one to install. This is how we set up our environment when you want to start in any area in programming. You have to have the environment in which you can run all your codes, though you can use any editor like Notepad, but you won't find it easy. So that's why we are downloading these setups and we're installing them, because programming in these setups makes things much easier and faster to learn. So let's just wait for it to also finish installing. By then we can check on our first installation. So let's see. I'm just launching. Okay, so what we need to do, let's search for Python. Sorry guys, our machine is too slow, but don't worry, we will get there. It's not easy, and I can't perform any magic, because the only magic I can perform is to upgrade the resources in my machine, and I didn't anticipate it will be too slow like this, because when I'm using the virtual machine without even the recording, it works nice and very good and very fast for me. But then I was thinking it's going to work that way, but not knowing that the recording will slow down a lot of stuff. So let's just be patient so that Python tool will get installed. And this is the idea behind software installation. So if they are saying that at the end of your course you should be able to learn how to install software. This is how we install softwares. If you have the software already, it's just a matter of launching it and flowing the prompt. If you don't have it, if it is a pay version, then you just go online and buy the pay version. If it is free, then you go online and find the free versions too. Then when you download it, the next thing is to just install. And the installation is what we are just done. Just launch it, the setup, and then be clicking next, and then at the end you will get it installed. So there's nothing special when someone is saying that software installation. This is how we install softwares in our computers. And most of you have smartphones and you have been installing applications into your smartphones. It's just the same thing. Even though if you are using Android, you have to go to your Play Store, and if you are using these other phones, iPhone and whatever, then you go to App Store and you can get any application there. And even with the smartphones too, you can launch any browser and search for any application there and install it. But then on the process, it will take you to either your Play Store or your App Store to install it, to get the official setup there, so that you can install it there. So this is how installations has been done in our PCs and then our smart devices, which is the mobile devices. So let's wait for this one to finish, and then we can make progress. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to minimize this window instead of full screen. So I'm just minimizing my virtual machine, which is the Windows, so that maybe it can speed up the process, because using the full screen mode also takes a lot of resources. So let's make it small size so that we can see if the installation will speed up. So let's wait till it gets finished. Okay, brothers, because of the slow nature of our machine, I paused the recording, and then finally our Patcham was able to install successful. And you can see that when it finishes, it is asking us whether to reboot or the first one say reboot now, or I want to manual reboot later. So if you want to reboot later, you just leave it by default and click finish. You understand? So it means that you now have the two IDEs set up in your machine, and for that matter, we can start to mess up now. So what I'm going to do, because of the nature the slow nature of our machine, I'm going to switch back to my main machine so that we can use my main machine to do the rest of the activities for the day. I wanted to just take you people through the installation, how you can get the resources and then install them in your machines. So let's just shut it down in here. So let's wait so that this one will be shut down so that we can use our main host that will help us match. But then from today onward, if someone is looking for a service for you to install any software for him, this is a process that you need to go through. First, you have to find out whether you have the setup or you don't. If you don't have the setup, then what you can do is either go online and download that setup, or you can get it from maybe a friend or a co-software engineer so that you can just go and then render that service. Okay, so now that we install we have installed both our PyCharm and then the main Python IDE, let's check to see whether we have them. So just click on your window key and type Python. So you can see that the first we have Python IDE. So just click on it and then it will start, it will launch onto your screen. So let's wait for it to launch. It's crazy. I don't understand. Today everything is very slow. So now finally, this is the nature of the Python IDE when you first launch it. This is the prompt you are going to get, and this is where you are going to do all your coding. So for instance, if I say 2 plus 3 and press enter, we are getting 5. You see? So it means that you are a programmer. But then it goes beyond this, and for that matter, you should stay tuned, and then you will feel what it takes to become a computer programmer. So I'm going to launch my other editor, the PyCharm tool, and then we then continue. So I'm going to pause it and then launch the PyCharm, because today my machine is too slow, so I don't want to take much of your time. So let's just pause the video so that I can launch it, and then as you can see, when you start to launch your PyCharm, this is the first display you will get. So it is saying PyCharm community, and we have 2019.3, that's the version. So it means that we have 2019. This is still last year version, because we are now in 2020. But then we have 0.3. So let's wait for it to launch. My machine resources is killing me slowly. Let me just pause it so that it can launch faster. So now when you finally launch your PyCharm editor, this is the interface you will be displayed, and then you can then create a folder and then create a file to store your codes inside the folder that you have created. So you have to create a folder first, and then you then create a file inside that folder before you can then start running codes. Or you can either import the folder from your machine. For instance, we can go to our machine. Let's go to our machine, and then let's just create a project so that you people have the feel. So new project, just click on that. I don't want to create a folder, it's waste of time. So let's name this project first par. So first par, then let's click yes. Let's use the same Windows. So it is building up, trying to create the folder for us. So let's wait for us to create the folder for us. I'm telling you, my resources is really killing me slowly here, and I can feel the pain because I can't move the way I wanted to move because of the slow nature of the machine, and it's because of the recording. It consumes a lot of resources. If I'm using my machine without recording, I do things so quick and very fast, but then I never knew if I'm to be recording and then working in this nature, this is what I'm going to go through. So but then let's just be patient and then go through everything. So at the end of the day, you will master the concept while learning. That's the most important thing. So let's wait for it to build, that it create a folder for us. So maybe I have to pause again so that it can build it very quick. I'm sorry for the constant pausing. So let's continue. As you can see, our folder has been created. You can see first par. So now that we have our folder, which we can locate at drive C, inside users, inside admin, then Python project. So before you can access this folder, you have to go through this directory before you can then get the folder we created, which is C, users, admin, and then Python, and then you then see the folder there. But then we are going to create a file inside that folder. So let's right click on the folder, and then you can see that when you right click, a lot of drop down menu has appeared. So let's navigate to Python file. We have file on top, but we don't want to use that one, so let's click on Python file. So let's click on that. Then they are asking us to enter our file name. So let's give it a name, learning to code, right? Learning to code. So we want it to be a Python file, so leave it by default and click enter. You can see our file has been created, learning to code, and there's an extension .py. I didn't write this .py because we selected a Python file. So Python has an extension of .py. So if you create any Python file, it should end with .py. Other than that, it will not work. So for your information. So now this is where we can type in our codes, run our codes, and then do anything. So if you put 2 plus 3 or 2 plus 5, and then we can then just right click inside there and then run. So you can see, so but it means that it returns 0 error. So let's run, and let me just zoom it a little bit so that you can see what is happening. So you see we are getting nothing, but then the main Python IDE, if you enter 2 plus 5 and press enter, you are getting 7. But with Python, if you do it that way, you are not going to get any results. So it means that we have to do something before it will print out the 2 plus what? 5. So that's, I just wanted to draw that to your attention. So the main one, the main Python IDE, if you enter 2 plus 5 or any value, it is going to print out for you. But with Python, it is not going to. So what you need to do is to bring the function print. So then curly bracket. So we say print, then you bring this curly bracket and then the quotation. But because we are printing numbers, we don't need the curly bracket. So we can put 2 plus 5, then less than 1, and see what we are going to get. You can see we have 7. So it means that this print function is able to generate the results for us. And for that matter, the 2 plus 5 has given us what? 7, like the way the main Python IDE has done. So that is the difference between using the main Python IDE and then Python. So you can start to feel the difference. But then we shall be using the Python instead of the main Python IDE. So let's discuss something a little bit about what pertains to introductory level to Python programming, things that you should expect when programming. So for instance, if I bring my main Python IDE, you can see we have, if I type 2 plus 5, I'm getting 7. But if I type hello and press enter, it is giving me errors. So that means that things are not just going to be the same. It means that it needs certain keywords, needs certain functionality before it can work. And for that matter, we have to learn certain key concepts. So that will enable us. So when next time we type in hello, it will not give us these errors. You understand? So, and the reason why we had this error is hello is a string, but these are numbers, so they are integers. So, and in any programming language, a string needs to be put into quotation. You understand? For instance, if I say print and then I open my curly like this and put the double quotation and say hello and then type enter, it is going to print hello. But if I don't put it in these quotations, it is going to give us this what? Errors. So this is where you have to learn different concepts when it comes to data type. So anytime you hear data type, they are trying to explain to you, or what is meant is to let you understand how these programming languages, or how Python understands the information you are entering into it. So if it is a number, we say it is an integer. If it is a decimal, then we say it is a float. And then if it is a word, then we say it is what? A string. So these three key concepts need not to be joked with, because it is very important, and it is going to govern your life in programming. So this is the little information I want to pour down for today, because we wanted to do much, but because of the installation and then the time it took, I can't go further than to stop here, so that tomorrow we can then dip into the main concepts, so that you people will not get bored. So thank you for watching, and I hope to see you tomorrow. But then please like and share the link, so that others too can get to know what we are doing, so that we can help our brothers and sisters at home. Thank you once again. I'm more grateful.